you want us to did they need us to play anything to get a level, or are we okay? Going
You miss the sound check at all, Steve, or are we okay? You want us to play something? Okay, cool. All right. Just like you guys, the mics are live right now, just so you know, and being streamed to every classroom.
Oh, we're all
right now, literally right now. We don't have to do anything. Just, you know.
Tense up, man.
Yeah.
Did you do?
You didn't do Montreal. It's only his own man. The band did.
Oh no, the band was there in '76.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We played at Olympic Village for the athletes, and it was like, even back then they checked all our cases and all our gear and everything.
Okay, guys, want to do sound check? You want to do the first tune?
You want to do the first thing, Aaron?
Do sound check? They want a sound check. You want to?
Hey.
Blues Brothers, maybe?
Yeah.
I'm gonna lower this. Wait, hang on a second. Can I lower this a little bit? Okay. Just wanna come down a little bit.
Blues Brothers.
Blues Brothers, yeah, we're just gonna get a sound. Okay, you guys ready? Yeah. All right, 1, 2, 3, and. That does it?
That's the longest. That's the longest I have.
That's the shortest sound check I ever did. Don't you ever sound check was like that? That quick?
Oh, I know.
Oh my
Instead
God.
of
You know, especially at the oldies show. That's one of the reasons
drums,
I quit.
the drums. Thump.
That's one of the reasons I quit doing it. It was like you had to get there 2 hours before the gig to do the sound
2
check.
hours, like, depending when your act went on, you could be like 4 hours.
You know what I mean? That's what it was. So me and Joe were doing them together. Like, come on, Pop, we'll do it. And then after a while, I'm not doing it
It's a
anymore.
long day for the bread.
It's a forever.
Yeah.
And when we were doing some down in Wildwood, so it would be like, we're doing a sound check at 3 to do the show at 7 or something.
Yeah, of course.
So we'd be going to leave our house at 12 in the afternoon to get home back at 12 at night.
All day.
All day.
You know, I know.
Those oldies things where
Oh,
you're checking. And,
God.
oh,
And the bread's never.
the hang.
Oh, the bread's not good. No.
No, it's never.
And the music kind of stinks.
The thing is, some bands, the NG, they had like, the charts are okay, but some had the same charts since they were originally recorded.
Well.
Like, I remember doing the
You know what's good?
no, it was the coasters. It was like the charts were gonna fall apart in your hands.
Well, yeah, but you don't have good charts.
Oh, yes, well, that woman from, what was it? She lives in Las Vegas. There's a keyboard player who updated all the charts.
Well, you know who wrote a lot of his charts? Don Silvestri.
Okay, there you go.
Oh, Andrews?
Little Anthony's charts.
Yeah.
That guy was so,
Hey guys, we're ready to go. I'm gonna do
so
the.
into music. He couldn't even think of anything else. That's all he could talk about. No, oh, what do you do?
Just once Nicole's ready, we'll.
What?
Which camera is gonna be on me? That one? I'll talk to that one.
So what do we do? Colin?
Sure.
I'm lost. What are we doing, the whole show from right now?
Yeah, we're doing the whole thing right now, yeah?
I'm nervous. No, I'm nervous.
Been a while. Is it 10? Yeah. Okay, we can start. Start. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Old Bridge instrumental music recruitment concert. We are so excited to be live streaming to you guys across the district this morning. We have Mr. Al Elefante, who owns Elefante Music, and his band, musicians from all over the state, some of the best around. And we have our instrumental music teachers here with me. I'm Mr. Good. I teach at Shepherd, Shirah, and McDivitt. Mr. Barnett teaches at Memorial, Madison Park, and Grissom. Miss Olivola, Southwood, Voorhees, and Cooper. Mr. Bell, Millard, Carpenter, and Salk and Sandberg Percussion. So we're going to get started here. I hope you guys are excited. We're excited to play for you this morning. Thank you, Mr. Gajewski, Mrs. Keeler for setting us up, and everybody that's helping here. Here we go, guys. Take it away.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, and. Instruments can create a mood, and we're going to play something right now from a movie that you're going to recognize, and you're going to see how each instrument can create a kind of a mood for you that brings you into the movie. The music in the movie is very important. So we'll show you. It starts out with the trumpet, who plays kind of a fanfare thing to begin with. Then we go over to the trombone that has a much darker, deeper sound. Then at that point, I'm going to pick up a woodwind instrument and try to liven it up after that. Okay, so here we go. 1, 2, 3. That was a Star Wars medley, and I think we showed you what the instruments can do to create a mood. So we're going to do some individual instruments now, show you a little bit about them. This is a flute. You probably all know that. And how you make a sound on a flute is pretty simple. You blow across this air hole here, and you get a vibration. So the idea is that sound is a vibration. So what you have to do is make a vibration on each one of these instruments. Now, the smaller the instrument is, the higher it's going to sound because it's smaller and it vibrates faster. So if we look at the flute compared to, let's say, the trombone, see how much smaller it is? It's going to be quite a bit higher sounding. So if you've ever blown across a soda bottle or something and made a vibration, it'd be kind of the same thing. So I'm going to blow across this hole, and you'll hear the sound of a flute. So that's the sound of a flute playing a little bit of a jazz feel. And you might think, why would I play the flute? It's so small, you're not going to hear me in the band. That's not true, and I'm going to show you why it's not true. Your ear doesn't just pick up loud and soft, it also picks up high and low. So you're going to hear the flute in the band, and I'm going to demonstrate that to you now. We're going to feature the flute playing with all these people, and you're going to see how it can stand out. 1, 2, 1, 2. So that's the flute. It's got a great sound. It plays a lot of melodies. And now I'm going to show you a little bit about the clarinet, which is about the same size as the flute in length. You can see. So it's going to be another higher range instrument in pitch. And what makes it different than the flute is the way we make the vibration. Remember, we got to make a vibration. We make the vibration by blowing across this sliver of reed. It's like a piece of wood that's slimmed down real soft, real thin rather, and it vibrates, it makes a sound. So it's going to sound like this. So that's the sound of the clarinet, and I'm going to give you a chance to listen to how it sounds along with the rest of the band.
Three times.
1, 2, 1 and 2. Playing along with the rest of the band, and it's a lot of fun to play clarinet. Actually, the clarinet was the first instrument that I learned when I was in 4th grade, actually. Now, this next instrument is another woodwind instrument, and it's kind of interesting because it's made out of brass. So the guy who invented this instrument, his name was Adolph Sax, so he called it a saxophone, and he wanted to invent an instrument that was a brass instrument that woodwind players could play. So it's kind of an interesting development how it became part of the woodwind family, very popular now, and it's played the same way as a clarinet over this reed. So that's how you get a vibration, and the table on it is the same thing. You make the tube longer and shorter, and that's how you play it. So when you think of saxophone, a lot of times you might think of jazz, so it got that jazz sound. It also can have that raunchy sound that you hear in some rock stuff. see is quite a bit bigger and heavier than a clarinet or a flute. So I'm going to play something along with the band that you'll be able to play in no time if you decide to play the saxophone. 1, 2, 3. So those are the woodwind instruments that I just demoed for you. And now we're going to go on to the string instruments. And here's Miss Nicole to show you a little bit about it.
Okay, guys, so the string instruments, this is the violin. I'm going to show you violin, viola, and cello today. And we make vibrations with our bows going across the strings. The violin's the smallest in the string family, so it goes the highest. It's pretty high up there. We can do all the same kinds of genres. We can do classical. We can do rock music. We can do pretty much anything. There's also a lot of people think that the fiddle is different than the violin, but it's actually the same exact instrument. It's just the way that you play it. All right, guys. So I'm going to show you the viola next. It's a little bigger, so it goes a little lower. By the way, all the string instruments come in smaller sizes, so don't be scared by what you see up here. They'll be perfect for you. So you guys can see it's a little bit bigger. All right, here's the range. All the same. Still gets high, not as quite as high as the violin. So we could do fun classical. We can do fun film music. All right, so that's a little bit of the viola. Next is going to be the cello. All right. So normally you would sit when you're playing this. Can you guys see it? All right. So this guy's going to go a lot lower, right? Right, 2 notes and you get a crazy villainous shark. We can do all the same music. We can do classical, a little habanera. We can do rock music, a little cashmere. We can do pretty much anything. You guys want to do a fun song about a nice shark? Yes. 1, 2, 3. Little baby shark for you guys. So that's the cello. Now we're going to do a song featuring the violin with the rest of the band so you can see how it blends in.
You guys ready? Yeah. 1, 2.
That's the strings, guys.
Okay, so I'd like to recap sometimes during the demonstration, just remind you what you've heard so far. So you heard the woodwinds, you heard the flute, the clarinet, and the alto sax. On the strings, you heard the violin, viola, which is a little deeper, and the cello, which is the most lowest sounding of the string instruments. And so now we're going to go over to the brass section.
Okay, hi. I'm going to demonstrate the trumpet for you, and that's probably the smallest of the brass family. But Al mentioned getting a sound with a vibration, so, you know, he did it with a reed or blowing across a hole in the flute, and then the strings or the bow over the strings. But the brass instruments have something in common. We all have this, and it's called a mouthpiece. You can see the bigger the instrument, the bigger the mouthpiece. But this is how we get our vibration. We buzz our lips. You just buzz into the mouthpiece. So I'll be doing that in the car when I'm warming up, and people will look at me funny inside. But anyway, one thing trumpet players have the luxury of being able to do is add a lot of excitement to the music, and we love to play high. We're obsessed with high notes. And I'm going to try to see if my face will cooperate at this hour and show you what I mean.
You can do it, Mr. Massage.
Okay, sure. Okay, thank you. So we're gonna do something with the whole group here. It's a great song for the trumpet. It's from another movie. You're gonna know what it is as soon as we start. So here it goes.
So exciting. So that was an example of a higher pitched brass instrument. I'm going to talk about a couple of the low brass members of the low brass family, starting with the trombone. Now, you heard Joe talk about buzzing the lips, and that's true, into the mouthpiece. But you can hear it, this is a bigger mouthpiece, lower sound. And then when I blow into the horn, it is a lower sound as well. Now the trombone in the band can play melodies. A lot of times we play supporting parts. Very important, because if you just had high notes, high melody, it'd be very would be very interesting to play or to listen to. We can play very strong. Or not so strong. Whatever the music needs, we can provide. Actually, you'll see that with all these instruments, but in this case, the trombone can do it very well, I like to think. Another member of the low brass family is, pardon me here, the baritone. Now, some people mistakenly think this is a tuba, those silly people. This is kind of like a baby tuba, I would say. It has the valves. The sound comes out here. Has the same mouthpiece size as a trombone, so you know it's going to be kind of in the same register, the same range. But because the sound's up here, I think it's kind of a mellower sound. So before we have one more brass instrument to get to in just a second. Before we do that, I would like to play with the trombone with the band. Then we'll have our special presentation in a second. This is another movie song, not a Disney movie, but a movie from 1939. And in your mind, think, when you figure out what it is, say, I know that song.
From the top?
From the bridge.
From the bridge, okay.
1, 2, 3, and... Now we have a very special brass instrument to present.
Hi, I'm Miss Olivola. So this is the French horn. It's like a cousin to the trumpet and the trombone. It's in the brass family. And as you can see, I'm holding it with my right hand inside of the bell. Yes, inside of the bell. We don't hold it like this or anything like that. So it has 3 valves, just like you would normally play on a trumpet. And you could do some really cool stuff. You could play nice and high. Or you could play really low. And if you ever wanted to be a dinosaur playing the French horn, you could. With the help of the hand inside of the bell. So it's a lot of fun to play. And I think we've got our last but not least percussion.
No, we're gonna just. You can do it, do your thing, and then we'll take it.
Okay. Hello, I'm Mr. Bell, and I'm going to talk about the percussion family. So the cool thing about percussion is you don't play just one instrument. There's so many instruments. Anything you can hit with your hands or with sticks or a mallet pretty much counts as percussion. That could be snare drum, that could be timbales, congas, bongos, the pots and pans at home. Don't try that at home. I didn't say that, parents. We would like to show you some percussion instruments we play in school. So we have hand drums, congas and bongos, stuff like that. Mr. Barnett's got some bongos over there. Why don't you give us a sweet lick? Yeah, okay, cool. And then Mr. Good has the snare drum. That's something we play in school a lot. Very nice, yeah. Those are instruments you can play with your hands or with sticks. We also have things that you can shake. Mr. Good has some shakers. We call egg shakers because they're in the shape of an egg. They can come in different sizes, cylinders, shakers. Mr. Good, what do you have? Oh, you also have a triangle. Believe it or not, the triangle is one of the most challenging percussion instruments to play. There. Yeah, so it's a lot more than just hitting it one time. You can roll on it, you can play cool grooves. So, we're going to finish with a big jam all together. Everybody's going to solo, because everybody should get to have fun. We'll have a drum solo too. And we're going to play a song you probably know called When the Saints Go Marching In. All right. 4 measures? Okay, cool. You got it.
So we hope you've heard an instrument or two that speaks to you, that kind of excites you. I know that everybody out there listening to this likes music, because music's kind of, they call it the universal language. Everybody enjoys music, whether you just decide to listen to it or you decide to participate. We're educators and performers. We would love it if you decided to participate. So we'll leave it at that. And we're going to play a song now, like Mr. Bell said, that we're going to feature everyone one more time, and you get to hear the instruments. A 1, 2, 3, 4. Percussion.
All right, I hope everybody had a nice time. So what do we do next? Everybody watching this live stream, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys have 2 instruments that you think are really awesome. You're going to go home today. You're going to tell mom and dad, I saw instruments at school today on a live stream, and it was awesome, and I want to join the band at school. So what they're going to do is they're going to come to this video, or they're going to be receiving an email from their homeroom teacher, and you're going to be able to click on a link and fill out a sign-up sheet to be part of the band at school. Highly recommend that everybody get involved. Playing music is awesome. It makes you feel good. You make a lot of friends. And we have a great program in Old Bridge. You get to play music all the way through middle school and high school. So we get to go on fun trips. We get to do performances in school and outside of the community, things like that. So make sure you guys join band. It's a lot of fun. And as you can see, we had a great time this morning. Thank you guys for watching and for being here. Bye.
Thank you for having us. We appreciate it.